scrimmage go for your mental?
Oh, the scrimmage, it went well. It went very well. I was pleased with where we are mentally. We played very physical, which is what the expectation is every time we step on the field, on the helmet, to be, one of the most physical position groups on the team. And I thought that we played that way and demonstrated that very well to the standard I want. We can always be more physical, but I was very pleased with our execution, our physicality, our intensity, attention to detail, all that stuff it's trending in the direction I want it to be in. Today's practice was about the same.
That's a position that can be a little trickier to evaluate without the pads, without the hitting. Has the stuff that you've seen during the shell sessions, has that transferred over to when you guys are hitting?
Yeah, the only difference when we have shells on is we don't have the thigh pads. We still play physical style football here in Nebraska. We practice very physical even when we don't have the pads, the pants on. So it's easy for me to evaluate because our standard never changes.
At this point in fall camp, how settled is that top group that you have when you guys kind of get into install and get closer to the camp?
I mean, the top group's settling in. They're working fine, flowing fine. The flow of practice with the top group has been great. It's been tremendous, actually. The speed, the tempo's actually picked up. I think as closer and closer we get to game week, the more and more practice gets. You can tell we're getting to game week. You can tell.
Is there a difficulty in kind of paring that down some as you get closer? Because you can only get reps for so many guys as you get closer to the game.
No, because we run so many plays in practice that I get here early in the morning and I make sure that certain guys get certain plays that they need to get so they can play at a high level and practice at a high level. The group that I have up front, it's been easy to give the reps that they need to get to make sure that they are ready to play.
You've said in the past that you want eventually for there to be a lead back that emerges from this group. When do you want to have that figured out now?
It's a great question. A lead back, is it a lead back? Is it a lead two backs? Is it a combination of certain guys? It depends on how the game's going, what the game plan is geared towards, what we're trying to accomplish, what the defense is doing, who's had the best week of practice, which three's had the best week of practice, which two, which one. It's like I said before, it's not a matter of if, it's when one gets banged up. Hopefully it's never banged up too much, but I want a 1A, a 1B, a 1C, a 1D just because if 1A goes down, 1B is just as good. And they all know that running backs that are going to play are the ones that best put Nebraska to win football games every Saturday.
So you guys are flashing with pass catches.
Oh man, that's something we work on every day. I just talked to him about that after practice. In my mind, a running back, first of all, we do one thing that no one else does on the football field. We run the ball, we catch the ball, and we have to pass. We have to block for it, right? And so we work on all three of those a day, every day. We work on all three every day. And their ball skills have gotten every one of their ball skills has gotten better. They can track the ball in the air, they can run routes like a receiver, they can catch the ball in the backfield. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about us being able to catch the ball. When it comes to us, we should be able to make that play.
How valuable has a guy like Rahmir Johnson been and kind of having that veteran presence that can do all of those things that you just mentioned?
Oh yeah, because it gives someone for the younger kids to look at. Something for AJ and Emmett and to emulate. Like, Rahmir can do this, Rahmir can do that, and then it gets competitive. Well, Rahmir can do it, then I can do it. Rahmir has done a great job of also giving them some insight on what to do and how to do it, and what situations, how to run a route, what technique the nickel or what technique that defensive back or linebacker is playing on them, and what the coverage is. So it's been good, been very valuable to have Rahmir in
How diverse are the skill sets in your group?
How diverse? Oh, we get you got Yant, he's 236 pounds, and Rahmir is 175. So we got everything in the middle. But the one thing that never backs away is our physicality. Rahmir is going to run just the way Yant. He might not run over everybody like Yant does, but he's going to hit the hole like Yant does. That's one thing that will never back up. But as far as the broad spectrum of different styles, we got a broad style. But one thing we will do, we will hit it in between those tackles, and we will not surrender.
What are the biggest strengths of your freshman running backs in AJ and Emmett?
The biggest strengths of AJ and Emmett probably that they came to Lincoln, first of all, wanting to be Huskers, and second of all, their football background is pretty high. They caught on to concepts easily. So it's been a pleasure to coach all of them, because it wasn't like where you got to teach them a whole new thing, because they were never taught. They didn't have a broad background in football. They do have high football backgrounds. They're both very eager, intense, and they're competitors. I mean, they're extremely competitive individuals, which has been a blessing.
What are you sharing from here right now and all that you guys do?
Ramir's sharing. We've got certain packages for Ramir where he's going to be in the slot, but he's in the running back room, but they all are. They all have positions. They all have spots all over the field that we can put them, in various spots, kind of like chess. You got to find it. But no, it's been good. Yeah.
Compared to some of the other running back rooms you've had in various spots, how comfortable do you feel about this particular one in Nebraska?
I feel very comfortable with this one. They bought in to my style. They bought into what my expectation is on a day-to-day basis, and they've lived up to it, and they're living up to it. They challenge each other every day to live up to that expectation and that standard that we have and how we go about doing things. And so with that being said, and seeing them every day and watching them, I feel very comfortable.
Is this maybe a game day decision as to who's the first guy to run out there?
Probably, yeah. No, I don't know. I can't say that. I'm joking. I know it's good. I'm going to sit down with Coach Frost and Coach Whipple, and we're going to, I'll give my 2 cents, and they'll give their 2 cents, and we'll see, see where it goes.
But this is close. Like it's not like a shoe-in or anything.
No,
There was
no. It's close, and it's, I told them it comes down to who's having the best week of practice, who has that look in their eye, who is the one that is ready to go out there, and when we kick that ball off in Ireland, is ready to go win for Nebraska.
You've been around Whipple and Frost for a while now. What do you think they value out of that position of running backs?
Consistency. That's what I value, consistency. Consistently picking up blitzes, consistently breaking tackles, consistently hitting your landmarks in the run game, consistently showing up to practice with that look in your eye that I'm going to win.
Bryan, what's the vibe of the field that you get overall from the end of the break with these 18 practices gone?
The vibe in the field, not being here in the past. Obviously, this is my first fall camp here with Coach Frost at the University of Nebraska. I love the vibe. I think, from what I've seen from spring ball, the summer workouts, and these 18 practices or whatever practices that we've had in camp, that this is a very hungry team. This is an eager team. This is a team that wants to please. This is a team that wants to play hard for each other. This is a team that wants to play hard for the state of Nebraska. This is a team that has a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. It's a team that is ready to go play and see, the culmination of the hard work that we've been doing since January, show up on the field.
Coach, you talked about how important consistency is. Is that going to be the separator between who gets more touches or who's more on the field, or are there other factors?
As the game goes, it's kind of okay. Who's the one that's really that they can't tackle? Who's the one that sees the blitzes? Who's the one that sees the rotation? Who's the one it's just his day? And that might be 1 or 2. It might be 3. It's just a feel for it. I've been in a game where I had 3 running backs rush over 100 yards. I've had 2. I've had one that go for 250. It's just, it's all about a flow. To me, though, I want to make sure we always have a fresh running back in. You start getting into 30, 40 carries when that kid's getting hit. And in a game, if they're at 20 carries before the fourth quarter, how fresh is he? Because like I talked to him about today, when the fourth quarter comes, that's when the dogs have to show up. And I want to make sure we got 3, 4, 5 fresh ones going into that fourth quarter. Now it might be 2 or 3, but I want to make sure that we have a fresh one going in, so that level of consistency never ever goes down.
Among your guys in your room, who do you feel like knows the offense the best? How important is it to know an offense when you might have to have 6 plays in a row, no huddle, all that stuff?
Oh, it's extremely important to know the offense. And I think they've all done a good job of preparing themselves mentally, so they know what the expectation is on every play. They know the expectation in each situation and how to handle it. So it's going to come down to really, the consistency, because they know the offense. Our mental mistakes have been very minimal. So which I've been pleased with that, which tells me their level of preparation away from me. We're able to install something in the morning, they go out and practice it, execute it 10 minutes later, so that's pretty good. AJ's picked up things really quick. This is, probably the biggest thing he had to learn was probably just the whole pass protection thing, because he didn't have to do that in high school, which is normal for a running back going out of high school, that he's the guy. Pass the third down, he's the one who's getting the ball. He's not the one blocking for it. But he's bought into that part of it, and so it's been easy for him because he came in wanting to do all that. So, but he's picked it up. He's coming along very well.
Anything about him surprised you as a great action coach? Anything when you're actually working with the guy jump out?
I had AJ at camp at TCU, and everything that I saw at camp, and how sudden he was, how quick he was, how competitive he was, it's all showing up. If you turn on his high school film, you can see all the same things. So it's, I'm excited about him, and I'm excited about him in his future. I think those are two really good kids. First of all, they're really, really good kids. They're very humble kids. They're hardworking kids, and both of them want the best for Nebraska and themselves and the running back community.
In your experience, do you have to talk to freshmen about the jump that you're going from your senior year and all of a sudden you're back in the pool with everybody else?
Yeah, you go from the man on campus. You go from the big man on campus where you're the one that everybody looks up to. You're the number one football player on your team. You're the best player. If you're playing at Nebraska, running back in Nebraska, you were the best player every Friday night when you played. Now, you're at Nebraska, everybody was the best player every Friday night, and that's a humbling experience. And that's any sport, basketball, volleyball. You were the best player. If you're playing at a high level in college, you were the best player on the field every night. So, yes, I do sit them down and I tell them exactly that. Every Friday night, you were the best player. Here, everybody was the best player. So now what are you going to do yourself to separate yourself to get back to that level again? And fortunately, those two listened to me, and they kind of understood what I was saying and have bought into that, and they are doing everything they need to do to get back to that level.